Hi, my name is Haley Jackson. Today I'm going to talk to you about period 4, 1800 to 1848. It began with the election of 1800. In this election, Thomas Jefferson and Andrew Burr were competing for the third presidency. It was a tight race. They tied in the Electoral College, so that meant the House of Representatives got to vote. Alexander Hamilton persuaded voters to vote for Jefferson, so that's how we see him as our third president. During this time period, we see a lot of key things. We see the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, which made America double in size. And we also acquired New Orleans, which is a major port. Also during this time period, we see John Marshall. John Marshall was a federal judge, and he was the complete opposite from Jackson. He believed in the strong central government, while Jefferson wanted state rights, more state rights. During this time period, we see Mayberry versus Madison. All we got to remember, judicial review. That pretty much said the Supreme Court could overrule the two branches. Also during Jefferson's presidency was the Embargo Act, which said that American sailors could not go to foreign ports. What do you think happened? The economy declined because this hurt foreign affairs. So right when Madison became president, his first action was to replace it with the Non-Intercourse Act of 1809. Also during his presidency, we see the War of 1812. The War of 1812 started because the U.S. and Great Britain were having so much neutral rights of the sea violations, and also with troubles with British on the western frontier. So this caused war. During the war, we see the invasion, and we invaded Canada. Then also Jackson becomes a war hero because he won the Battle of New Orleans, which actually helped him become president later on. We also see the Treaty of Ghent, which was in 1815, which ended the war. After President Madison, we see the era of good feelings. When you associate era of good feelings, put it with Monroe, James Monroe, president. Couple things. 1, he acquired Florida. 2, agreed on the Missouri Compromise. The Missouri Compromise was Henry Clay's idea that Missouri would be a slave state, Maine would be a free state, and also the 3630 line on Louisiana Territory, which pretty much stated that above it would be free, below it would be slave. This would later cause conflict, but as right now, it was a good compromise. And then also, he adopted the Monroe Doctrine, which pretty much stated that European powers could not take over the Western Hemisphere. This was a short-term, it wasn't good, but long-term, it was good. What ended the era of good feelings, though, was the Panic of 1819. So after Monroe, we see John Quincy Adams. John Quincy Adams, when you think of him, think Erie Canal. But also during this time period, we see a lot of things happening. We see transportation. We see the building of roads, railroads, steamboats. We see commercial agriculture. We see new mechanical inventions. We see the cotton gin. We see a ton of things helping the economy get better, like the market revolution, which consumers and producers are coming together, and more things are happening for the economy. So after John Quincy Adams, we see Andrew Jackson in the election of 1824. Couple things about Jackson. Indian Removal Act, which pretty much what he wanted was to take the Indians and Native Americans and put them somewhere else west. He wanted to put them west. So that's what happened with the Trail of Tears, which unfortunately killed thousands of Native Americans. Also, we see the nullification crisis, which South Carolina wanted to nullify from the Union, and Jackson would not cut it. He said, no way. After Jackson, we see in the election, we see Martin Van Buren. Pretty much, he was Andrew Jackson's loyal vice president, so he's a shoo-in for president. And the one thing we need to remember about him is the Panic of 1837. During this time period, though, we see a lot of reforms. We see the temperance reform, involving alcohol. We see mental hospitals. We see prisons and public education becoming better. Also, we have the anti-slavery movement, because this was a huge issue at this time period. And because the Second Great Awakening occurred, Christians now viewed slavery as a sin. So this helped the slavery movement progress. Also, we see women's rights being voiced out. During Seneca Falls, we see women stepping up and making the Declaration of Sentiments, which stated all men and women were created equal. And this is how we round up this time period. Thank you and have a good day.